to evaluate what you saw from Daggy in his first start?
Well, I felt like he gave us a chance to win. He was able to extend some plays and keep his head up and make some throws that the term off time, when the play you call isn't exactly working the correct way, to have a guy that gets out of the pocket and extend the play helps a little bit. I wish we could have helped him out a little bit more by establishing some sort of a running game. So to throw it all on him against a defense that really ran to the ball as well as anybody we've played this year was a heck of an accomplishment. And now he's got to continue to grow.
How frustrating was it that you guys weren't able to at least run the football a little bit?
Extremely, especially having Jared in his first start. And that was kind of the game plan, wanting to make sure we stayed balanced, and we really did. I think he only threw it 35 times, which is about where we wanted to be. But he just, at one point, he was 20 or 27, and it got out of hand for him late in the fourth quarter. But he was just making plays, which kept us in the ball game. If we were able to establish some sort of a running game, we'd had a good chance of coming away with a victory.
What do you think the next step might be for Daggy as he goes into a second start?
Well, he did a lot of things well. There's some things we need to clean up in the red zone, and just making sure that you're riding the center and things of that nature. Just doing some of those little things right. I thought some of the shotgun snaps were awry a little bit, but if he had his proper depth, those have been easier catches for him. So just finding things like that on the film to clean up and fix for him. But as far as going through his progression and as far as making his read, he was pretty spot on.
What's the next step to get the running game?
Well, just consistency, John. I mean, if I knew it, I'd have it fixed already. We know that there's a lack of quality depth right now at that position. We've got some bodies that still need to be developed. If there were some.
At what position are we talking about?
Offensive line.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, we want competition, and if we had a freshman that I felt like could come out and compete like a Daggy did, he would be playing. Right now, our best 5 or 6 are playing. Probably one guy that we probably need to get in the mix a little bit in that guard area is probably Caleb Bright, because while he had his struggles versus Michigan State, the other 2 guys hadn't played much better either. So we need to get him out there and see what he's able to do. But I think what it does is sometimes you take it for granted when you have guys that have played, 27 to 40 games together, and they develop that cohesiveness as an offensive line unit. I think if you go back and you look 3 or 4 years ago when Timmy and those guys were redshirt freshmen, and you look at some of the struggles they had, and you watch them grow because they played 10, 11 games together, your calls and things of that nature are a little bit different. And Ryan switching from right to left, although I feel like he's got a high skill set, it's been a difficult transition for him, and it's still a work in progress. Positive is it's still a lot of football left to be played. When you look at matchups, there's still some more favorable matchups for us out there. We've got to continue to attempt to run the football. We have to find a running game, or it doesn't matter which quarterback we play, neither one of them will make it out of the game.
You guys know this is a long-term deal and the recruiting and all the positive things behind the scenes, but how important is it as you guys go into MAC play to kind of show some momentum for the future of the program in terms of maybe hanging on to recruits and just kind of
it's huge. It's huge there. That's kind of the biggest deal right now is we've got to continue to develop our roster. We're playing a lot of young kids now. We're stacking some depth. We need to continue to do that. So when you have these nicks and these bangs and these injuries, you got guys that are of a high skill set coming in to replace them. So in order to do that, you're going to have to do some of the things that we were able to do last year and finishing the season on a high note. It's kind of the message to the football team today. There's a lot of football out there left to be played. We know what the MAC is. We know that there's great parity in our conference, great football. But each and every week is a different week, and each and every week, whoever you play has got a chance to beat you, and you got a chance to beat them. We proved that last year in winning our last 3 ball games, and then we go back in the 5 that we lost prior to that. I mean, we were in 4 of them, and in 3 of them we lost by a total of 11 points or whatever it might have been. These guys understand that there's a lot of our goals are out there still to be accomplished. They're not hanging their head. really they got me going a little bit this morning, because I just, you get ornery after a while. John, you know how I get, as things go, I get a little bit upset. But, they were fired up and they had a lot of juice and a lot of energy this morning at practice. So they understand it's a brand new season, and they need to be focused on the task at hand.
You mentioned kind of a clean slate going forward, a lot to play for. Is it possible to, and just the importance of this stretch coming up, is it possible to maybe lose so much momentum early that you never really get a fair chance to build the program the way you want to?
I'm not going to say that because I'm no different than any other coach in your non-autonomy group of 5 conferences out there. You look at Middle Tennessee last week, they're a good football team. They got a lot of talent, and they were banged and bruised and really could have lost one to us if we would have made some plays. And that, you look at their schedule, they had Vanderbilt, they had Syracuse, they beat Syracuse, and then they lost to, who was the other game? Minnesota, and that's similar to the schedule we played this year. It's similar to the schedule we're going to play next year. That's just who we are and what we've got to do. So my job is to sell that as a recruiting tool, number one, to continue to stack talent on top of talent, to where when we walk into Oregon next year, when we walk into Georgia Tech next year, when we go to Oregon, Maryland comes here, that we're giving ourselves a chance to compete and stay on the football field and find a way to win.
And just lastly on that point, how much do you have to sell that this is a long-term deal and everybody believes in you here? And so then, obviously people here know what's going on, but your name's going to appear on the, hey, this guy's on the hot seat, this guy's, you see it on the list. People don't
Those are things that I really can't control. And, all I can sell is our program and what I offer to you as a mother or father and helping your son become a better man. That's worked for us thus far in recruiting is what we'll continue to do. You really can't listen to the outside noise to drive yourself crazy. I keep telling my wife that, but she won't listen to me. But it's just what you have to do, and especially in this business. It's number one, like you guys have heard me say it before. Blessed and fortunate to have this opportunity and have this job. I know what it entails, and I know what it's about, and I know what comes with it, and I don't want it any other way. So, again, a lot of football to be played this year, and a lot more games to be coached here as a Bowling Green Falcon.
How much of this week is about kind of wiping the slate clean and getting a fresh start on conference play?
Well, a lot. That's kind of what you're selling to your football team, is that you got a brand new start. Again, every goal that you set prior to the season starting is out there, to be achieved. You still have an opportunity to win the East. You still have an opportunity to win the MAC championship. You still have an opportunity to go to the bowl game. So we've got a lot of those key games at home. We've got Ohio at home. We've got Northern Illinois at home. We've got Toledo at home. We take care of the Detroit. We've got a shot. So. But it all starts this week with Akron, and they probably got a little chip on their shoulder going into their place last year. I think they had 5 wins, the chance to secure a bowl game, and we were able to come up with a victory. So they'll come in fired up and ready to play. We'll have to match their intensity and come out and play a physical ball game.
And what are you looking for from Akron this weekend?
Oh, they're skilled. They're skilled, and there'll be a lot of speed all over the football field. So. We're going to have to be sure that we match their physicality. We're going to have to be sure that we're good tacklers. And, the kid transferring in from Ohio State's a pretty good player. Ball, he's kind of a downhill guy. Positive thing about that is that we've played a couple backs like that already this year. So it shouldn't just be a physical shock to them. And then from there, we're going to have to make some plays on the outside at the edge and, give our quarterback a chance to lead us to victory.
Go back to Saturday night, Coach. It seemed like a tale of 2 defenses, really. Talk about the second half.
Right. Really.
Build up the performance.
Oh, great question. Felt like we came out earlier in that ball game and really gave them a little bit too much respect and was too worried about not protecting the corners on the outside. And we had a quarterback in I don't know exactly how many starts he's had, but Stockstill's been their guy and played a lot of football for him. So, relatively early in his career, although he was a redshirt junior or what have you, and we allowed him to get into a rhythm. I think he was 17 of 19 in the first half, and that's too much. I think we went in, had some discussions, and decided to come back out in the second half and make him earn it. And I think you see that he struggled, and our guys stepped up, and I think we were able to hold him to 3 points in the second half.
You expect the defense to build on that performance against Akron?
They better.
What's the biggest worry of the defense at this point?
Right now, it's a matter of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, because if you're trying to protect the corners and play off, you know, you're giving up the quick, easy passing game and lasting some of these quarterbacks to get in a rhythm. And once you do that, you know, they're able to stay on the field and move the chains from first downs to first downs. When we've come up and we tried to press and go man to man, we don't have the corners outside right now at this point to do that. We've been hit on a lot of big balls over the top. So, you know, really, you've got to try to be creative, and you've got to try to mix up your schemes, and you know, you keep the ball underneath and try to create turnovers. That is the one positive of the year. I mean, the turnover margin, we're ahead for the year, and again, that's, you know, you look for things to build on as a head coach, and those are things that win ball games. So if we can continue to do that. You know, eliminate the explosive play, like the play that killed us really. We gave up a lot of yards with a big seam ball to the running back up the middle of the field, you know, and we don't do those things, and we don't give up those just big chunk, not so much plays, but chunk touchdowns, because then we give ourselves an opportunity.
Is it a matter of you can't stick with one particular scheme because you're trying to do so many different things with maybe limited abilities?
You know, there's something to be said for that, you know, and it's just like anything else. Every offense in our conference, every conference that we played to this point, you know, everybody's going to a look system. You know, you come out there and you show a defense, and the quarterback goes and he fakes the snap. They come back up. The guys in the booth see it's man. Are you rolling? You know, and they're going to get to a play that beats it, and they're going to find their one-on-one. And really, Thomas, at the end of the day, football is about winning one-on-ones. When we were flying high here as Falcons, we had guys that did what? They got one-on-one, they scored dang touchdowns. And really, in its essence, football, that's all it is. Can you find the one-on-ones, and then can you win the one-on-ones? And when we start to do those things, we'll win more football games. It's as simple as that.
Is there a particular set of one-on-ones that this team's not winning that's frustrating to you?
Outside, that's kind of frustrating. At the receiver and the cornerback position, we got to be better there. We got Scotty isolating some situations, and he was able to make some explosive plays for us. T.O. Flash, we got to continue to do those things offensively, and again defensively. To this point, I think it's a matter of confidence. You know, right now every ball goes up in the air, everybody closes their eyes and just like, oh, what's going to happen? And our mindset's got to go, ball's in the air, let's go get the ball, let's take the ball. You know what I mean? Our defensive mindset needs to be, when it goes up in the air, it's a chance for our defense to score a touchdown and create a turnover. So it's right now it's a confidence deal, as well as you know, having some tough matchups. We've played some guys outside to this point that can really roll.
Will you talk a little bit more about that confidence? I mean, it looks like this team, to win a game, is going to have some things
Right.
go their way.
Some
and
guy-
start stacking them, as opposed to
Right.
a couple of times this year you've seen bad bang, all of a sudden we're 21-7, and it's
And we kind of saw glimpses of that last week. You know, we kind of got down, and you know, we hit a big play to Scotty Miller. You know, we give up another explosive play. We have a 3rd and 19. We come back and he checks the ball down, just playing within the system. There's a swing to Josh Cleveland. So I saw a little bit of that belief in our guys last week. You know, so. We're close. We're not where we need to be, but you're exactly right. We're going to have to stack positive plays together amongst adversity.
So you still see that positive, we can get it done out of this group?
I do. I really do, because again, you got to look at who you play makes a difference. And when I tell you, and it's no disrespect to anybody in our conference, they tell you there's parity in our conference.
So what I'm hearing you say between the lines is there's a chance, starting this week and going through the conference schedule, to be able to stack those plays and make those plays.
Absolutely. It's no different than last year. I mean, there was No, it started with Toledo. I mean, I think everybody in this room thought we were going to get beat by 50 points. And the next thing you know, with 2 minutes to go, it's 35-35 in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Kareem Hunt, and we saw him run for 172 yards yesterday, didn't we? And he took the ball and said, I'm going to win the game. And that's what dudes do. You know, and then after that, you know, Akron was a really talented football team. You know what I mean? You find a way to beat them at home. You come back, you beat Buffalo. You come back, you beat Kent State in a dominant performance, who had just played Western Michigan to a heck of a game. You know, and you're feeling good about yourselves. So the thing that's happened that's a positive to this point, again, I go back to the turnover margin. I go back to our special teams plays. Those things will bode us well in conference play. Secondly, for the most part, you know, we've gotten through this non-conference schedule, and we've come out decently healthy, and we've played a lot of guys. So we've got just as good a shot at anybody, if that's what you ask me. And being 0-4, you say, how can you say that? Just going through this conference one time last year and having to go down the wire 24-20 with Ohio down there when we turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, being here at home versus Miami and being up in the fourth quarter, being up here against Eastern Michigan and having a lead in the third and having a chance to win it on the last drive, we got a shot. It's a real shot. Now, it's one thing me sitting here and saying it. Our kids got to believe it. And it's up to us as coaches to make sure that, you know, they stick together and they continue to play as one.
Coach, you mentioned the energy in the parking lot for the first home game.
Yes.
Hoping to get that again. Say something to the fans.
Absolutely. You know, Akron, Northern Illinois, Toledo. I mean, those are all huge games last year, and we need that home field advantage. You know, these kids out here are giving everything they got on a day-to-day basis, and they're doing it for this community. And they're good young men, and they're doing it the right way. So come out, support us. We're orange. Be loud.
Is Davey the guy?
Daggy will start.